good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Bull Hangout 217. I'm Pat Murray. I publish the Durham 𝗕𝗓. That's Durham's online community paper. I invite you to check it out at durhamskywriter.com. Now, what I did with Bull City Hangout, got my notes right here on my iPad. Basically, I tell you what's happening today in Durham, and then I invite you to click on that link on the Facebook side, and then join me on camera to promote, shoot the breeze, whatever. So I'm going to start with the word page. I'm just going to make quick mentions of certain programs that you might want to read about at your convenience. So starting out with the word page, the city of Durham has an eviction diversion program. So if you need to save your home, definitely check that one out. There's also, don't forget the 2021 Water Conservation Poster Contest. That's for kids from kindergarten to grade 8, and they can take part in this wonderful poster contest. The theme is the power of water. Let me make sure. Yes, the power of water. So read all about that. It's on the Zoom Kids page and also on the Word page. Also, the city has a water hardship fund to help you if you've fallen behind your water bill. Also, the county has some programs. The LEAP program, the Low Income Energy Assistance Program, to help you with your heating bill. And they're really, I would say, generous, what they consider low income. So check it out. If you need help with your heating bill, it doesn't hurt to at least look into it. Also, let's see, the county, they have an eviction program as well. Is the Housing Opportunity and Prevention of Evictions Program, also known as HOPE. Again, if you need to save your home, check that one out as well. Okay, now Durham County Library, they're not quite open yet, but you can still put a hold on CDs, DVDs, and then you can pick them up. The libraries are open for pickup and delivery. You just can't browse around. So browse online, put a hold on what you want, and then you can pick it up later. And if you say, darn it, I don't have a library card, well, you can get a temporary online card. They thought of everything. So there you go. Again, read about that on the Word page. Now, Durham Technical College has the Small Business Center downtown. They have all these wonderful free workshops, and I actually listed workshops from across the state. So let's see what's on the schedule for today. Okay. This is going to start in a few minutes, but marketing outside the box, create with Canva. So if you did see the Bull City Hangout graphic on the Facebook page, I created that with Canva. It's really fun. So it starts at 12:30. It's a 1-hour program. So you sign up for these in advance and they're totally free. Also today, choosing your legal structure. That's going to be from 5 until 6:30. That's when you go into business and you want to be like an LLC, 501c3, solo, whatever. So learn about that tonight at 5. Also, finding your customer and creating a marketing plan. That's also this evening from until 7. All you have to do is to sign up and attend. And then last but not least, tomorrow morning, better business through community engagement and building relationships. Super interesting. That's going to be tomorrow morning from 9 until 10. I think I'm going to check that one out. All righty. I think that's it for the word page. Let's go to the health page. It's called To Your Health. Let's see, of course, COVID information, where to get tests. We're still on hold in terms of being in phase 1B, where people age 65 and up can get vaccinations. Still on hold. I'll let you know when they open that back up. Let's see where OptumServe is today. They administered free COVID-19 tests. Let's see, today's what? Wednesday? So they are at El Centro Hispano until 6. They have a drive-through service available. They're also at J.J. Henderson and Oldham Towers. You don't have to live there, but that's where the tests are being administered until 4th. And I think if I didn't say it, El Centro Hispano until 6. All righty. And there's health events page. Top of the health page is a big blue button. And if you click on that button, you can find out about the various support groups. So let's see what's going on today. The Daughters Concerned for Aging Relative Support Group, they're meeting right now until 1:30. It's a wonderful way to share information about caring for loved ones, like with Alzheimer's or whatever. And you don't literally have to be a daughter, but that's what the group is called. And again, that's from noon. They just started until 1:30. It's free and you can attend. It's probably on Zoom, which means you can probably tiptoe in without anyone noticing. Also today, the Blood and Marrow Transplant Survivorship Support Group meets online, of course, from 4 until 6 this afternoon. And again, you can register or make a phone call and attend. Also, let's see, no, that's tomorrow. Okay, I think that's it. Is that it? That is it. Okay, so let's go to the sports page. I think there's one thing to read. Bike Durham, they're having their community meeting 2021 kickoff. It's going to be this evening from 7 until 8. So if you're interested in riding bikes, especially if like you're a commuter, go to this meeting. Bike Durham is awesome. So today they'll be introducing their new board members. Also, they'll be talking about their goals for this year, their budget for this year, and advocacy priorities. It's going to be on Zoom. So just check it out. It's going to be this evening from 7 until 8. All right. Let's see. Let's go page. That is the calendar of events page. And let's see. Going on right now, the Nehemiah Christian Center, they're giving away free bag lunches to people in need. So if you are in need, you can pick up a free bag lunch from noon until 1. They do this on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursday. The Nehemiah Center is on Mangum Street, just north of downtown. They're still considered downtown, though. Okay, so the North Carolina Office of Environmental Education, the Museum of Natural Sciences, the Prairie Ridge Eco Station, and A Time for Science, they're co-hosting a webinar, and it's going on right now, 1 o'clock, analyzing the effects of urban noise and light pollution on avian communities. That means birds and wildlife in general, it looks like. Okay, so anyway, that should be really interesting. So it's going to actually be a video premiere. So you can't really be late. They won't even notice. So you can click the link and check that out. Again, it just started and it lasts until 1. All right. Durham from the Heart is back. Wonderful. So Downtown Durham Inc. and Sonic Pie Productions, they have this series. And it looks like this season is going to be on Wednesdays. It was on Tuesdays last year. But this year, apparently, it's on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock, where musicians. Hey, Mark Lee is here. Hey, Mark, he's watching on YouTube. Awesome. So check this out, Mark. You probably already know about this. So Durham from the Heart, again, it is Downtown Durham Inc. and Sonic Pie Productions. They, I'm going to say, hire musicians. They pay them a stipend, and they put on live concerts from their homes or wherever. So today, Kaiki Vidal is going to be We Are Carnaval with Kaiki Vidal. It's going to be from 1 until 2. We're talking about Brazilian music. That's all I have to say. I mean, it's going to be great. So I cannot wait. So they're also going to have Adriana and the NC Brazilian Arts Project. And again, the co-sponsors are on Durham Inc., DDI Third Friday Durham, and Sonic Pie Productions. So even though they're being paid a stipend, they do encourage you to break out your Cash App or Venmo and tip the musicians, or I should say the artists. So you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, it's free. It really doesn't matter. So there you go. From 1 until 2, I will be there. Also today, New Visions of Africa restaurant, they're giving away free warm meals from 3 until 6. They right next door to WD Hill. If you're driving, you can park in their parking lot behind the building there. It is from 3 until 6. Wear your mask. Also today, and I have hopefully, Mark wants to know who's paying musicians to do the gigs. Let me put the I love limits. Let me put them on screen. So Mark knows some funk. I know you do know some funk musicians. Here's the thing. It is one of the projects of Downtown Durham Inc. and Sonic Pie Production, Tess. So she is, what is the word? I forget the word, promoter, I think is the right word. So basically, I'm sure the money is probably coming from Downtown Durham Inc. and they're promoting downtown from home. I guess that's the way you can look at it. But in any case, we all, because we get to see really great musicians without even leaving the house. Again, so yeah, tell your funk musicians, Mark, all those guys, because they've had blues musicians, by the way. And if you, Mark, let us know when your show is. I know Mark is we met at WNCU. We were both with WNCU. Now Mark is with WCOM in, is it Chapel Hill, Carborough, or just Carborough? Let me know. So Mark has a wonderful show every week. So just type it out in the comments, and I'll post it on the screen. Okay, I don't even know where I was. Let's see. Yes, okay. Wake County, so I finished with, yes, okay. So Wake County Public Libraries and the Library of America, they're co-hosting Oral Traditions, Storytelling with Willa Brigham. So it's going to be today from 6:30 until 7:30. Hopefully you know Willa. She's totally awesome. She's a storyteller, but she's also a singer-songwriter. So this is going to be really, really fun. Hats off to Wake County Libraries for doing this. Again, it's going to be from 6:30 until 7:30. Or I should properly say Wake County Public Libraries. That's the proper name. So again, Oral Traditions, Storytelling with Willa Brigham, 6:30 until 7:30. It's free and it's online. So let's read about that on the Let's Go page. Let's see, I told you about Bike Durhams from 7 until 8. Told you about Brett's open mic is tonight at the Blue Note Grill. It's from 7 until 9. They're playing it safe, so they don't want a crowd there, but you can probably get in. I shouldn't even say that. Let's just put it this way. If you want to play it safe, you can stay home and watch it online. Otherwise, you could venture out there. They don't want a huge crowd, but they do allow people in. They are practical distancing, $5 admission. And if you watch from home, you can tip that $5 to the musicians if you like. So again, 7 until 9, Blue Note Grill. I think that is pretty much it. There's rabies vaccinations. Durham County Sheriff's offers that for pets, $10 exact change. Afternoon sessions are from 2 until 3:30. Okay. Oh, thank you, Mark. Okay, let's read Mark's comment. So Mark does a blues show on WCOM from 4 until 6. It's in Carborough. And actually, you can listen online. I think it's WCOMFM.org. Anyway, you can Google it and find it. But WCOM in Carborough. Okay, and he does a blues show from 4 until 6. He didn't say the day, but I think it's on Thursdays. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mark. He's also the program chair. So he's always looking for great shows if folks are interested. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Mark. I really appreciate that. And everybody knows you, Mark. Mark is famous. He's the MC du jour. He is the guy, the go-to MC guy. And actually, I miss seeing you on stage, and everyone who comes to Durham. Hopefully, we'll be able to start that up again. So let me tell you about the weather. Let me know if you got a winter storm warning, because I thought it was kind of weird. I got one. You can sign up for these by going to Durham Alert. Just Google Durham Alert and then actually be apprised when something happens. So I got a winter storm warning about a half hour ago, which is kind of weird. It is 39 degrees, but it's sunny. It's great. Feels great outside if you have a coat on. It's going up to 45. It's going to be sunny all day, but maybe they're warning because of tomorrow, because tomorrow it will be 37. Let me check. It's like 100% chance of like frost or something. Let me see what it says now. So it's going to be kind of bad tomorrow, 37 and frost. Thank you, Mark. Mark is on top of it. Mark says winter storm alert for tonight until Thursday. Thank you. I was confused when I got it a half hour ago because I was checking. I said, well, there's nothing going on now. So thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Winter storm alert for tonight until Thursday. So you might want to do just a little bit of panic grocery shopping if you're running out of food. So I invited someone to join me, and I don't know why she's not here. I'm really disappointed. Let's see. I don't know if I should call her. I don't want to bother her. Actually, I invited Willa. I know she says she's going through reels for tonight. So it could be that she just couldn't step away because after all, it starts at 6:30 and you do have to be, if you're performing, I know you have to be laser focused on top of your materials and ready to go. So I'm sorry. Willa is always welcome to drop in anytime she wants. But I just wanted to, let me just read it again because I do feel bad she couldn't, but that's okay. So let's see. Courtesy of the Wake County Public Libraries and the Library of America and its oral traditions, storyteller, the Brigham, and she's going to do music as well. And that's from 6:30 until 7:30 online. It's free. So that is pretty much it. I do hope you have a wonderful day. Actually, Mark, whenever you like, you could drop in. Mark has dropped in before. You can only drop in on Facebook, as you know. You have to click on the link on the Facebook side. I am broadcasting to YouTube and Periscope/Twitter as well. So tomorrow's guest, just to give you a heads up, is going to be Al Strong. I'm getting a phone call. Let's see if it's Willa. It might be. I'm going to take this call and just hold on for 1 second. I bet it's her. Let me see. Hey, Mark.
Hop in.
You're saving me. I appreciate it. That was Willa on the phone. She couldn't
No
Zoom
problem.
in.
Glad I could pop
So,
in and save you and all of that. I actually had a whole lot of things that are going on that your listeners may be interested in.
okay, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So what's happening with you? You got some more stuff for us?
Yes, we got a lot of things going on. I'm actually
Yeah.
hosting on StreamYard. I don't know if you know Merrill Holloway, but he's done a lot of work in Rockingham area and things of that nature. But he and several other people are actually sponsoring a Black Empowerment Week. So they're actually hosting it on my StreamYard. So Sunday, Valentine's Day, they sponsored a conversation around Black love and things around that nature. On Monday,
Okay.
we did a conversation around history, walking through history. So they actually had some people that were connected to Soul City and connected to Soul City and also connected to like the Greensboro Cityans and things of that nature. So they did a conversation on that on Monday. And then yesterday there was a whole conversation around economics. Today they're going to be
Okay.
talking about health. So there's a thing going on. If you go on Facebook, it's
So
started
how can we
Sunday.
find this? Where do we go on Facebook to find all this?
Facebook.com/Black Empowerment Week. So it's Black Empowerment Week. There's also NC 100 is one of the sponsors. So it airs to NC 100. It airs to Black Empowerment Week. It airs to a podcast that I had never heard of until recently called What We Said. We Said What We Said is what it's called. That's the name of the
Oh,
podcast.
I
So
like
it
that.
airs to
You said
their
what you said.
platform and it airs to several other platforms as well. So it airs to about 6 or 7 platforms. But the main one is if they go to Black Empowerment Week on Facebook or they go to NC 100.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. I will definitely check that out. And Willa disappeared on us. I think she's going to come back. I hope she's able to. There
There
she
she is.
is. Is she?
Hi,
Oh, there you are. Woo!
information Mark, as you always do.
Yes. Well, you've always got amazing stories and you always got great things going on in your community. And like I said, I just popped in because Pat was waiting for you and everything, but I just am always enthralled by your stories and everything. One of my favorites, and I see you got the hat. One of my favorites is your hat story. I love that hat story that you do all the time. And you have some other great stories that you tell as well. So you're just one of our true crown jewels here in our community.
I am honored and thank you so very much.
Absolutely.
Your
So
Pat.
tell us, Willa, how are you doing today? And in advance, happy birthday.
Yes, on Sunday I'll be a grown woman. Yes, thank you very much. It's wonderful
Woo!
to have another birthday. So many people do not. So I'm
It's true.
blessed and highly favored. Thank you.
Good point. Good point. So
Keeping busy.
something's going on tonight. What is it?
Yes, I'm honored. The Wake County Storytelling is happening tonight for the Wake County Libraries. And you can go to their Wake County site. It's called Lift Every Voice. And I am the storyteller for the evening. And on next Wednesday, I am teaching folks how to tell stories and how to create their own stories. Because, if you don't tell the story, the history is lost, the lessons are lost, and your children don't know where they came from. So how do they know where they're going?
Mm.
As children of all ages, from birth to death, you got a story. We need to hear it. Tell it.
Okay, now where do we find this? I did not see that listed anywhere.
Oh, the Wake County Public Libraries. You go to Wake County Libraries.
No, I meant for next Wednesday because the Wake County Ice event is in the Durham Skywriter. I did list that.
Yes. All right. It's right under. It's tonight, Wednesday, 17th and the 24th. So that's on their website as well. The Wake County Libraries.
Okay, and then the how to tell stories. That's also.
That's how. Next week. This week I'm telling stories.
Hmm.
In the forest where the grass grows slow is a great big tiger with corns on his toes. There's a hairy-faced lion washing his clothes with a fat bumblebee sitting on his nose. Boom shaka-laka, laka, boom shaka-laka. So,
love it. Love it.
Tonight, stories, songs, and poems, and I love to integrate them all because we can tell a story with a song, we can tell a story with a poem, we can tell a story with voice, actions, and sounds. So just tell that story. But next week, I'm helping people to create their own stories. I will show them to know about your great-grandmother or your grandmother. My granny is Mama Dear. I see you, Mama Dear, with a cane pole in hand and a bucket of crickets on your way to the creek. You tell me to be quiet because you don't want to stir up any snakes and you don't want me scaring your fish away. On early Saturday morning before the sun comes up, me and you hanging out with my granny at the fishing hole.
All right.
Love it.
Now,
I can tell a story. I can tell a story about my great grandmother. I can't tell it like you though, but it's a funny story, real quick.
tell it.
Yes. Tell it.
So I didn't know her very well because she died when I was in junior high. But anyway, we called her Big Mama. And here's the story that somebody else told me about her. Because by the time I came along, I think she probably had Alzheimer's. She didn't, she couldn't really communicate. But anyway, so here's the story. So she was originally from Talladega, Alabama, then moved up north to Gary, Indiana, where she was the first Black Girl Scout leader. But anyway, she was very strict. One of those old school strict school teachers. You know what I'm talking about? So somebody engaged her in conversation, and they said, "We heard. Is it true that you once threw a student out the window?" And Big Mama sat up straight, and she said, "I never threw anyone out the window. He jumped."
You gotta love it. He jumped.
I still don't know if that was true. I have no idea.
It sounds impressive. My girlfriend said they love my stories because I made the truth sound so much better than what it was. Schmidt. So you never know, do you?
Well, you just
one never knows, do one?
Yeah.
one never knows. But you just tell such amazing stories. And by the way, I did love that story, Pat. That was a great story and everything. And I can definitely relate to those stories. I know they talk about my grandmother walking down the streets of Raleigh in order to collect money in order to build Richard B. Harrison. So she was doing that in the 40s. And that's actually one of the things that they talk about in even the history of Richard B. Harrison, was how she collected that money walking the streets and actually asking for money, because we did not have an African American library in Wake County at that time. So
it's a
big shout out
library.
to Molly Houston Lee, my grandmother, that actually created the first Black library there in Raleigh and all of that. So definitely that's one of those amazing stories that I can share with folks as well. And then on the other side of that, I have on my mom's side, I remember a story, and I forget how exactly it goes, but my a lot of times if you're in the deep country, there are folks that have these different mythologies and things of that nature. So one of the things that was going on was, I think that they had gone to one of those root folks or something like that, and they had basically said, because there was some sort of theftery going on and everything, so they had said whoever came around and looked into the water well and everything, that was probably the person that had done the crime and everything. And granddad, who had nothing to do with the whole situation, he walked by, and so therefore they thought that he had something to do with it, and he had to do a lot of back explaining in order to be like, nope, I was nowhere nearby. I don't know where you got this story and everything from, but I was not the guilty party. So like I said, there was a little bit of that miscommunication that even goes on even today when we have folks that are found guilty, but in this case they was found guilty based on superstition and things of that nature.
Interesting. See if you can tilt your camera so we can see your face better.
Yeah,
there you go.
There we go.
I want to see your whole face.
Yeah, see the whole face. I just saw, not that he was a major impact or anything, but we've lost, you were talking about folks in the past, but we've lost some great folks and some not great folks from the world of talk radio and things of that nature. So I know that Larry King passed away not that long ago. And then I just saw just now that, even though I'm not a fan of his, that Rush Limbaugh has also passed away as well. So
I didn't know that.
Okay.
My main man, Johnny Pacheco, died a couple of days ago. He was I guess you could say he was like the father of salsa, Latin music. So,
well, in May, he passed a few weeks ago. Say Hey Kid, and I was a big baseball fan, and he was one of my Say Hey Kid, Say Hey.
Oh yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
And we'll pass that route. But there are also there are stories about that. The funeral. Bubba Jack died. Honey child, Bubba Jack dead. When he died, I don't know, but I heard Bubba Jack done up and down. What was his name? I don't know. We always called him just Bubba Jack. But we got to get the folks and the fixings ready. You got to have a funeral, and you got to have food. Now we got to call the meats, and we got to call the vegetables, and we got to call the drinks. And now you make sure you call Eloise, because all she gonna bring them is the cutlery. Oh, don't let her bring nothing else now. Just let her bring the cutlery. She's very good at the cutlery. Don't give her nothing else. We got to get ready for this funeral. It's gonna be bigger. The meat ready? Yeah. What you gonna have? We're gonna have a baked ham and 17 roasted chickens. They don't want it fried no more. They want it roasted. Okay. And what else? And then vegetables. Now I got some collard greens and I got some turnips. We brought in call Lily. Those golden beets are just delicious. Bring them on in. Louise, no. The cutlet. I told you to tell her to bring the cutlery. Don't let her bring nothing else.
That's right. She can't bring anything else. We know some folks like that. I know that sometimes I'm the one that gets assigned to only bring the sodas because they don't want me trying to bring no cooked dishes or anything. So I get the assignment of the sodas or the plate. So I know that kind of feeling of everybody that gets the assignment based on what their skill sets are. So you got to go with your skill sets.
Exactly. And they had it organized down to a T. You knew exactly who was going to bring what. You would be surprised.
So Willa, did you start becoming a storyteller as an adult? Did you always tell stories as a little kid, or?
I told stories a lot to when my children were born. I started telling them stories, but my girlfriends say I used to make the events when we had an adventure. I grew up in Tuskegee, Alabama, and it's 5 of us: Nita, Netta, Roll, and King. And we 5 to this very day are still close as a hand. It's 4 of us and a thumb. And our thumb keeps us in check, even though our thumb probably says less than anybody else. But the other 4 yak enough for everybody, so the thumb is always present. And she'll say, okay, if you say, all right. And that's the whole story. But friendship, talk about friendship, is a strong element to keep you grounded, connected, and tell great stories. So I don't remember telling them. They said I did, but I started initially with my children. When I read some fairy tales, little children. Oh, talk about libraries. We did not have a library in Tuskegee, Alabama for Black folks. I don't think I remember going to the library until I was a junior or senior in high school. And that's integration. They may have had one on campus, but see, I did not live on Tuskegee Institute's campus or close by, so I did not get a chance to go.
Oh, okay.
It was time of segregation. So I don't remember going to the library until I was in high school to a public library. I guess we had them in schools, but I vaguely remember going to the library in school.
That was so gigantic when I was a kid. My grandmother used to take us to the libraries. That was so huge.
Yeah, I vaguely remember. Wow. So for me, reading started, I remember reading in high school, but things like that was a sign. But just for entertainment and fun, when I had children is when I really started telling stories, because I read for the first time Cinderella, I think, and I didn't like it because I'm thinking, I have boys. I do not want them to grow up thinking they're going to take care of a helpless woman who don't have sense enough to use her own brain. And coming from a strong single mother who did everything and expected us to do everything, because if somebody else can do it, you can too. I mean, she changed the faucets and she repaired the doors and we painted and we did whatever needed to be done. My brothers and I. Brothers ended up being better cooks than me. I was dessert. I was dessert and salad. That's what it kept me. Dessert and salad. No. My collard greens sucked. My pinto beans didn't wash. My brothers wouldn't eat it. So everybody had that deal. But long story short, I started when my boys were born, and I started creating stories because I wanted them to have strong figures in their lives. And I wanted them to imitate those strong figures or look for that kind of personality. I love telling strong women stories. Cinderella met my grandmother at the 7-Eleven, who said, it's all right to be poor, honey, but you don't have to be dirty. She took her into the bathroom, washed her face, combed her hair into long black braids. Cinderella looked in the mirror. She stood a little bit taller. She walked out of that store a little bit prouder. She didn't know she was such a beautiful pecan tan under all that dirt and soot. Now, she was living at home with her uncle and her 2 lazy cousins, because her daddy had gone on an adventure to find himself, something to do with orchids out in the continent of Africa, and hadn't come back. And she was stuck with 2 lazy cousins and an uncle who did not see the benefits of teaching her anything. Now, it could be because I have heard, if you keep people in the dark, and they don't see the light, they don't know what the light has to offer. But she went down to the 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven is where she met Mama Pete. Mama Pete says, honey child, what are you doing down here? It's daylight hours. You need to be in school. Well, I can't go to school. Why can't you? Because they have me washing and cooking and scrubbing and cleaning. Really? Well, since you're going to be down here anyway, I'm going to teach you reading and writing and numbers. So you just come on down. So because her folks were on a seafood diet, they saw food and they ate it. She was at the store often. And every time she went, Mama taught her something different. Reading took her to the local library. Oh man, she was reading up to grade level in no time and surpassed. She picked up one book and said, oh, Granny, look at this. It says the prince is going to come and save. She said, honey, put that one down. It's a waste of time.
Wow, what an amazing story. I love that story. And definitely I know folks that see that food and enjoy that food. When they see it, they just grab it and everything else. Willa, just real quickly, a question that crossed my mind. I've actually got an uncle that's been talking about telling his stories, and his mother actually started one of the initial plumbing companies here in this area and everything. So she was definitely a plumber, Walker's Plumbing, and all of that. But I know that he's wanted to tell a lot of the stories that he was involved in, including around desegregation and things of that nature. But he's not getting around a lot. So the class that you're going to teach in Wake County, is there any virtual element to it? Is there any ways that somebody from Durham or somebody else can actually attend it without being there?
Oh yeah, sign in, because everything is virtual these days. Sign in and I can give him some tips to get him started. I want to hear the plumber story. Tell that one first, because we need to know. Our children need to know that even before we were addressed and being recognized for what we do, we were doing wonderful things. I mean, strong women stories. Oh, and next month is Women's History Month too. Oh, yeah. Please. I need to talk to him. I'll tell it while he's putting it in the book.
All right.
That's so cool.
I would definitely pass it on to my Uncle Randy Walker, and hopefully he'll attend it, or at least have his granddaughter, who I know is helping him get that book together, come down there and help y'all and everything. Because I know that's definitely, they want to get it down. He's definitely, as we're all getting up there in age and everything, but definitely he's had some health issues. So I know they definitely want to get that story put in paper and put down, because you're right. So often we don't get those stories told, and then the folks are gone. I'm even thinking about all of those great stories that Skippy Scarborough told folks and things of that nature about the history of Durham and the history of Black Wall Street. And I know some of those stories were written down that he told, but a lot of those stories were in his head, and now Skippy's gone.
Take the phone. When they start talking, start recording. I have started doing that with my mother, and I realized, why haven't I done this before? Because you just didn't think about it. And unfortunately, we think they're going to be around forever, but the reality is they're not. My mom is 94. I talk to her almost every day. And one day,
nice. How nice.
Yeah, isn't that cool? 94. She still drives her truck, and mama still has a paper route. Thank you very much.
She's got her old paper route at 94. Well, you know, Pat, we can't really talk about that because, you know, there's a lady that's right here in Durham that I think just celebrated 102 and maybe even 103. And you know who I'm talking about. But Miss McLaughlin can still be as feisty as anybody else that's out there.
Yeah. So when I talked to mom, I had her
sing. She's 103.
103. Fantastic. Isn't that a blessing? Still in that right mind? Yeah. So those are the things we need to do.
Is there such a thing as a storytelling festival? Such a thing?
Of course there is.
Yep, there is.
There's the National Association of Black Storytellers, where storytellers all over the country get together once a year in a conference and festival. We have workshops and dancing and telling and sharing. It is a feast to behold. And in North Carolina, we have the North Carolina Association of Black Storytellers. We have the North Carolina Storytelling Guild that's open to any and everyone, and both of them are. But in the National Association of Black Storytellers, or North Carolina Storytellers, we help perpetuate the telling of Black stories and history and making sure it is shared. But there are storytelling guilds, affiliates in the country as well. And
I would love to see storytellers share their stories, but not restricted to any particular group. Because what I have found is that when I hear stories, you know, growing up in Chicago, you know, Polish folks, people from Czechoslovakia, Cuba, and all these different places. When you hear their stories, you find yourself relating to them much easier. There was this Polish guy at work who told us of this story where they came to America on the second try. The family had saved up all their money to send his uncle to actually Canada. They don't know if he ever arrived. You know, he had family's fortune with him. He was supposed to have arrived in Canada and establish a place to live and start maybe a little business or whatever. Then one by one, they're going to come to America, or rather to North America. But he disappeared. They never heard from him. So they saved up their money again and sent Bob's father, and he made it. And he went to Bob's father, they were able to come to America one by one and establish, you know. So anyway, when you hear stories from these other folks, you know, I would love to see people of all backgrounds share stories, because I think that's a good way to realize, oh, they didn't all start out exactly the same way, but it's so relatable.
Many folks do. And there are festivals all over the country that you have diversity within them telling stories. I'm telling stories. The Old North State Storytelling Festival is going to be in Cary, North Carolina in November, and I am one of the featured tellers. So that's something to look forward to. But there's all over the country, there are storytelling festivals and diverse people from every background, Native, African, various countries, Israeli, Bible stories, Palestinian, Russian, Greek, English, mountainous country, wherever. People tell stories all over the world, and it's how we share our story.
Yes, I love stories.
Oh yeah, I love stories too.
I'd love to see something local. I mean, even or maybe especially online, because it's easier to get together online.
That's true. Yeah. And if you will go to online storytelling festivals, you will see that there are several available almost every week or every other, if not sure.
Yeah, because one of the things that I've always noticed, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that usually the African American Heritage celebration that goes on in Raleigh usually involves you folks from the Storytelling Association on a regular basis. And I want to say that even though it wasn't held last year, if I remember correctly, but I want to say that the International Festival also incorporates a lot of the storytellers and definitely incorporates them from different places, because I know that they have a very much of a rich tradition of different cultures, be that Irish, be that Jamaican, be that a number of other things. But I do think that I have heard storytellers from various countries at that international festival that is usually held in Raleigh. But I think last year, because of COVID and everything, it did not happen. I don't even know if it happened virtually.
Yes, it did. As a matter of fact, it happened virtually this year in January, and everything pre-recorded, and it was on for the whole weekend, as a matter of fact. And yes, we storytellers were part of that as well. But there were lecturers, and there were demonstrations, and there were conversations, and there were interviews. So yes. And another place that has international storytelling is the International Storytelling Festival in Jonesboro, Tennessee. And I have had the honor of being on their exchange stage, and people from all over the world come to that festival. One of many. There's Tennessee and Utah and Texas and Arizona. I mean, there are many, many festivals all over this country.
Okay, I'm going to ask one last question, because I know you're getting ready for tonight, and you were going through your materials, and I want you to be able to get back to that. One more question for you, Willa.
Yes.
So I love storytelling, and I've tried my hand at it, you know, with young folks, but is it something that you can learn, or does everybody have their own style? Is there a correct way to be a storyteller, or does everybody just have their own style and they just talk?
Delivery is all up to the individual making that delivery. You have your own style, your own nuances, your own movement, your own quirk, whatever works for you. And it's how you deliver the story that makes all the difference in the world. It doesn't matter who delivers it. It doesn't matter what your style is. As long as you tell a good story, your audience will be enthralled, because if you are enjoying your story, chances are they are going to enjoy your story as well. Tell the story. There's no right or wrong way. Now, you may have a large or a small audience depending on your delivery. But tell your story. Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow. Great stories. I can't wait to hear the stories. Pat, if I can cheat a little bit, I just mentioned it earlier, but I can never get enough of that hat story, and she does have her hat on. So can we get a little bit of the hat story?
Love my hat. I love my hat. It's just as simple as that. I love my wooden hat. 16 coats of stain to protect it from the rain. It's a wide brim hat to keep the sun off my back. A custom-made job that fits just right. I don't have a problem if my hat's too tight. I love my hat. I love my hat. It's just as simple as that. I love my hat.
Nice. You're still putting out CDs, right?
Yes, I do have CDs available. Preschool, I have 3 specifically designed for them. It includes Healthy, Happy Habits. That's most in vogue now because we are washing our hands and standing in line and taking our turn and covering up and all of those things. But yeah, healthy. 6 CDs. One is entitled Midnight Quilter because I quilt all the time, as in the fabric.
Yes.
Oh, you made that?
Myself. No, that's just fabric. It's so pretty. I don't want to cut it.
Oh, I got you.
But a quilter would understand that. Okay. And I have one called What You See, and it's about dirty house blues because I don't like to clean house. I'd rather quilt. So I had to write my lament. Sitting in my wing chair, looking at the dirty floor. Do 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 do. I am sitting in my wing chair, looking at the dirty floor. Do 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 do. I don't want to clean it, so I'm walking back out the door.
Love it. Oh, where's Mark going?
Mark. I was seeing about some food, so I would go get that in a second. But Willa, your stories are always amazing. They are just truly amazing, and I'm always glad to see your stories and all of that and hear your stories. And by the way, you know, Willa is also, and you're gonna have to bring her back on to share that aspect of her life as well, because she is also an amazing quilter and part of the Hayti Quilting Circle. So she is part of the quilting circle that meets out of Hayti, and she does some truly amazing quilts. And I'm always impressed with that work of hers as well. So definitely you're gonna have to bring out those quilts of yours and show those on this platform or on my platform as well, because I've got some shows on IBM TV that Willa is and Pat are aware of. So I'm gonna have to get you to come on that as well, so you can share it with the international audience as well. So definitely you have some great things going on, and I'm always glad to see my friend who's always got that wonderful smile on her face. I mean, I don't even know that you ever have a sad moment, or if you do a very good job of not letting folks see it, because you definitely always have that effervescent personality, and it always puts a smile on my face.
Well, thank you. I'm honored, guys.
Absolutely. Thanks again, Mark. So Mark is on WCOM Thursdays 4 to 6. Yes. And then Willa Brigham. So tonight, 6:30 until 7:30. The link is right there on the Let's Go to the Durham Skywriter. Excuse me, Durham Skywriter at durhamskywriter.com. It's called Oral Traditions Storytelling with Willa Brigham. So thanks to the both of you. That was super fun.
I appreciate it. Be well.
That was real fun.
Okay. See you soon.
Take care now.
That was so fun. Oh my goodness. So that's it. That's today's show. So fun. So be careful. There was this winter advisory. It's going to be tonight through tomorrow. Apparently there's going to be some ice, some frost, maybe even a touch of snow. I know it's going down to, where's my phone? It's going down to 20 tonight. And then tomorrow the high is only going to be 37. Let me see if they changed it. Yeah, it's only going to be 37 tomorrow. Yeah, so be careful. If you're driving around, definitely be careful. With that, have a beautiful day. I will see you tomorrow at noon. Ciao for now.